This radio program is PG-13. Parents strongly caution some material may be inappropriate for children under the age of 13.
The following program is sponsored by Michael W. Smith. The views expressed on the following program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership.
Arizona, Brother Mike is back on the radio. Welcome to HardcoreChristianity.com. Welcome to the program. Thanks for tuning in today. KXXT Christian Radio. Today's Bible study, trans laws. About ready to take over. Hey, would you call somebody and tell them the radio program's on? This you're not going to believe. I got some very interesting new developments that have occurred just over the last few days. This is Brother Mike. I'm the professional counselor at the Arizona Deliverance Center. We're downtown on 15th Avenue, just south of Osborne Road. It's a red brick building. On the website, hardcorechristianity.com, you'll see I have a Sunday morning podcast at 9 o'clock Pacific time. We have 2 Zoom healing and deliverance services. Tuesday night at 6:30, Wednesday night at 6 o'clock. We have 2 live services, preaching, teaching, healing, and deliverance. Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific time. Friday nights, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Those are live services. If you cannot attend the services, please send me an email, mike@hardcorechristianity.com. I'll send you a copy of the Miracle List, a step-by-step guide to healing and deliverance that works 100% of the time. When you go to the website, please sign up for one of our seminars for children or seminars for women. Some of our other teaching services. You will be richly blessed. You need to learn spiritual warfare, friends, and you need to learn it quick. The best place to learn it, the Arizona Deliverance Center. This you're not going to believe, folks. As you know, everything starts in California and then it goes east. And it's happening again. Woke started in California. The satanic wokeness that's sweeping the United States started a couple of decades ago, maybe 3, in our colleges and universities. That's where wokeism was born. It was birthed there. And then it swept the rest of the country. These imbeciles that are currently in the corporate world at places like Target and Anheuser-Busch and Disney Company, these people that are running these companies are all woke graduates from our university system. That's where Satan started wokeism, colleges and universities. That's where he perpetuates it. And in California, the devil always comes up with a new satanic law. Here it is. An 8-to-1 party line vote recently in California. The bill is known as the TGI Youth Empowerment Act. TGI Youth Empowerment Act. The transgender, gender diverse, intersex. The TGI Youth Empowerment Act was passed by the lower house recently, and it's coming up for a vote in the Senate. If it passes the Senate, which they're expecting it to pass, it will need only the demon-possessed governor out there, Gavin Newsom is his name. This guy's loaded with narcissism spirits. All he has to do is sign it, and it becomes law. What does the TGI Youth Empowerment Act do? Here it is. Family courts all through California, every single one of them, will now penalize. It's a new child custody law. They will now penalize parents in custody battles, in divorce cases, in adoption cases, etc., if they do not support the child's gender-affirming decisions. If a child is a boy and thinks he's a girl, and vice versa. If you do not support that, you are going to lose your case in family court, and the gender-affirming parent will receive custody of the child. The law now is transgenderism. This is where the country is headed. There's no question about it. It's headed LGBTQ. It's headed trans. Legally, by law, this is what's happening. Other states will quickly follow California. For example, Oregon and Washington. For example, the East Coast, New York, New Jersey, Illinois, Midwest, Michigan, Midwest. They will all step in line and pass similar laws. Okay? There is no national law, federal law, like this, thank God. But the states are handling it individually. And they are all going to start passing these laws supporting parents who support their children with gender-affirming medical care, gender-affirming psychological and psychiatric care. Because by not doing it, they believe it's child abuse. It's actually child abuse. In the DSM-1 many years ago, transgenderism and transvestitism, drag queen story hours, they were all considered mental illnesses. They were all considered mental illnesses. Now, in the DSM-5, decades later, it is now considered gender dysphoria. Gender dysphoria is not considered a mental illness. It is the person's incongruence and the negative emotions and feelings and depression associated with not being able to adjust to the gender that they identify with. So the obvious concept is, if you have gender dysphoria, the way to psychiatrically treat it is to allow the child to normalize and adjust to their opinion of what their gender is, excluding the biology of their gender. So now the federal government, run by Satan, who is loaded, they're loaded with demons, said that we had to follow the science when it came to vaccines. Now want nothing to do with science. Nothing. There is no biological or medical data showing that transgenderism is a real thing. There is no research. In this bill in California, the bill itself, in the language of the bill, says that the state of California is allowed to define the terms, quote, affirmation and the terms, quote, best interest for the child mean under the law. The state determines that. Okay? The state is not, the bill does not allow for and does not require treatment for gender dysphoria. It doesn't require it. The law only focuses on whether or not the person, the parent, the mother, the dad, are affirming the gender identity of the child. That's all they want to know. There's nothing in the law that provides for counseling, therapy, psychiatric care, nothing. If a child thinks that they're a boy when they were born a girl. That's it. In this law, the parents are given one option to treat their depressed and distressed child, they have only one option. They must affirm their gender identity, affirm the use of transitional drugs, and affirm the removal of their healthy body parts. And we all know what that is. Boys getting their scrotum and penis cut out and surgically modified into a makeshift vagina. Young girls getting double mastectomies to match their gender identity. Transitions for creations of fake penises on girls. And the parents are not given an option for treatment for depression, for gender dysphoria, or anything else. In addition, California has already outlawed, and so have several other states, any kind of counseling or therapy that allows a child who was born a girl and doesn't want to have the desires to be a boy. A child who is born with same-sex attraction to go get counseling and therapy and prayer to overcome same-sex attraction and overcome a gender identity disorder, which is the desire to be something other than their biological sex. The law does not allow that. In fact, there are other laws that now prevent those kinds of services to be provided. The concept is that if you provide those services, that will make the child mentally ill if you try to get them to disavow and remove homosexual desires and desires to be the other sex of which they were not born. Now, these laws do not consider any biology whatsoever. Half the country is going to adopt these laws, probably within 24 months. Half the country is going to adopt these laws. Arizona has now switched from one party to the other. Arizona will eventually adopt these laws of gender affirmation and gender identity affirmation. It's coming to Arizona, and it won't be much longer before our children here are going to be stuck with this satanic disaster.
The views expressed on this program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership. This program was sponsored by Michael W. Smith.